Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AuthorHood podcast. Hope things are being good at everyone's end. Shree A Mukherjee, ma'am, who has authored The Crimson Thread, is gracing our show today. She's a business person who loves art with all heart. Thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting our invite.
Well, thank you, AuthorHood, to invite me to this podcast. And, I have noticed this podcast platform is gradually becoming pretty popular.
Thank you very much. This is a pleasure talking to you, hosting you. Thank you very much.
Same here. A pleasure to meet you on this platform.
Pleasure. So, how will you best introduce yourself to the listeners?
As you already said, I am a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. I have two businesses. I am an award-winning author and film writer, and also a mom of three little boys. So when you're a mom, all the other roles which come along by default, I have to play those roles as well, like teacher, doctor, engineer, psychologist, cook, driver.
Every role possible.
Every role under the sun. So when you're mom and then you have three boys, they just take your life over. But yet I try to keep my life going as well as an author and a business person.
That was some very, very beautiful say. Said very well. Okay. So, how long have you been writing? I mean, you have quite a good number of books in your name.
When you say how long I've been writing, I would say since my childhood, because that was something which interested me. Writing for school magazines, writing for local magazines, for newsletters, some online platforms as well. I've written for many online magazines. But I actually became a professional published author in 2015 when my first book, The Secret Expressions, 2 stories, was published by iUniverse. It is a collection of 2 short stories, as the name says. And then since then, actually, I never looked back. I kept on writing solo books, anthologies for different, magazines which are popular. So, and I also got some recognitions which kept me going, which encouraged me. I said to myself somewhere something I must be doing right. So I would just continue because, other than being an author, I should have probably said that earlier, that I'm also a classical dancer and a music person because music runs in my family. I have learned music from my mother. She's a very renowned singer in Bengal. I used to do professional dancing and I have done a lot of choreography, on stage. But as of now, since I'm a mom, I have to work from home, I have so many things on the plate. I thought writing would be the best thing to pursue because I love it, I enjoy it, and I'm also getting, whatever recognition I would say. It is fulfilling.
When you say so, I must add to it that writing is something that can keep you occupied and also can give you time for yourself and for everything else. Yes?
Yes, of course. It is something which I can do it in my own time. All the other things I said, they are time restricted tasks, right?
Exactly.
Starting from being a business person and being a mom or whatever other extracurricular activities I do, going to an event, performing as a dancer, singer, or speaker as well. I've done some speaking events as well. They are all time restricted, but writing is something which I can do in my own time. And, the best part is I get to do a research of so many on so many topics I like, because my interests are very much in subjects like health, lifestyle, women empowerment, medical science, of course, philosophy, parenting, and psychology. So these are the topics which I like to explore on, and these are also reflected in my writing in one way or the other. You will see the topics I choose to write are very much inclined to these things. And these also lead to a lot of mysterious thriller factors also in my books, because not many people would understand the basics of these subjects. So that gives me a liberty to do a lot of research and grab one of the topics as a subject of my books.
Wonderful. When you say that it's not that everyone is going to understand your work, I feel that is the thrill. Yes, because there's a certain class of people who are going to take up what exactly you have written about.
Of course. But again, I am not there to educate anybody. I am writing fictions. I have also written non-fictions and self-help books. But, mostly I write fictions and poetry. So those are all imaginative things, right? Something suddenly catches your attention, some person or some mannerism or some situations or some happenings around you, social issue. That is one of the major things that comes up in my writing. All my books or the films I have written, they have some or the other message, a social message at the end, which the readers or the audience can take away if they want to. Sometimes my contents make people uncomfortable because these topics make me write situations which are mostly unexplained or might be a taboo or not social convention.
Like something that is not talked about.
Yes, of course. So like a hush-hush thing. But again, there are very many restrictions going on in the society, like how to be and how not to be.
Exactly.
So, yes. So that is, something which I like to explore. And, something which can be more rational rather than more dogmatic.
That's again explained very well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So your latest work, The Crimson Thread, that got my notice, and that is the work I want to talk about.
Yes, I'm excited about that as well.
Oh, thank you. So it's a real delicate stuff to write or talk about.
Yes.
So how difficult was it for you to bring in the sensitivity required for writing such an emotion-driven topic?
I would say really difficult. I have faced a lot of challenges myself to pen down this book and actually complete this book and get it published. Because the topic that I have chosen, like a couple's fertility journey and experience, is still an unexplained and unexplored topic for the majority of the society anywhere in the world, because it's not very conventional yet. Okay. The treatment does not always seem to be the way it is advertised. So the main challenges I had to put it in as a story is to make it sound as close to reality as possible. And many times, I was not satisfied with what I was writing, how the characters were evolving, how their emotions were gyrated, and how the upheaval left an impact on their state of mind. So many times I was stuck how to proceed with this story and with those situations. Several instances I stopped writing because I was not exactly clear how to create the unprecedented experiences, the turbulent situations, the disturbing outcomes. So I had to put the story to rest for some time. I had to make sure that I dealt with the topic with complete compassion to describe the unimaginable encounters, which completely staggered the couple's faiths and convulsed their existence. So basically, that's what it is, because again, I would say, since it's very sensitive, I had no option to rush with the writing of this story because there was no option to go wrong. And since I did a lot of research on the plot, and as a narrator, I did not want to sound indifferent from the reader's point of view, by any chance hurt someone's feelings or probably upset somebody and create an unrest.
Maintaining the delicacy and also keeping in mind that you are not hurting anyone with your write-up. This is a task.
Oh, yes. That is the most difficult part of it.
It's a very, very courageous step towards,
Thank you.
writing a topic as sensitive as fertility. Amazing.
Yes, it is very difficult because, as you said, it's very, very sensitive and close to each couple's heart, because not only financial aspect, the most important thing is the emotional aspect. And the woman goes through a lot of physical aspect as well. There are, horrific episodes they might have to go through and survive those incidents. So yeah, it's a lot.
It's the very beginning of the conversation and I'm already having goosebumps in my head. So writing about someone's fertility journey and the hardships, the struggles is one thing. I'd say you can feel the living pain, but to connect with the pain of a fictitious couple, it must have been a thing to deal with. Yes?
Oh, yes, of course.
How would you put that challenge in words?
Well, it's a realistic fiction, and I want it to be sensitive as well as realistic because the topic is real, right? It is not an imaginative topic, but I'm writing a fiction. Okay, so what I had to do basically, either talk to or read about, do some research about this journey, about many, many couples. I myself had to feel their emotional roller coaster, like feel their heart-wrenching, painful episodes, as well as, all of a sudden, maybe somebody had to feel the ecstasy of a joyful ride. But again, I would say pain is the major part of the journey, because you want to achieve something unconventionally in an alternative way, which involves your body, mind, soul, and everything other than the finance, So, and that is again your choice, right? If somebody is determined to make their choice into reality, then we have to go through upheavals, struggles, and everything. But again, this struggle has its own premise. So this struggle involves a lot, because if you target to achieve your dream, the couples they are doing, especially in my book, they have to remain positive in the most dark and negative situation that they are facing. Okay, so that is the hardest part. So I have tried my best. I have taken years to actually make it into a book, because I was, as I said, percolating my thoughts every now and then, researching, medical histories of many people, listening to medical conferences on this topic. And I just thought that even though the person who is interviewing the couple or the person who is writing about the couple, don't get me wrong on this, might not 100% feel what they've gone through, because until and unless the person who's doing the job has also
experienced the same.
Yes. So even your family members, your friends, since 99% of them can start their family whenever they want in a conventional way, they absolutely have no idea what happens if that conventional way is not true for a couple. So the struggles, the emotional disturbances, everything that they go through is only the couples are the testimony of those experiences.
Believe me, that pain, maybe that sensitivity, that emotion, it's right there in your speech. Let me tell you, it's right there in your speech. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And I think if it has touched hearts somewhere, because I'm very, very pleased that I have got 2 awards already for this book.
Wow.
Yeah, the Literary Global Book Award and the Independent Authors Award in not 1 but 3 categories. Yes, I've got it in 3 categories. Like I have entered for 3 different categories, thinking, what might happen. All 3 categories have chosen my book as the winner. I think it says something.
Something in itself. Yes, please accept my applause and, admiration.
Yes.
It's so wonderful. Okay, so see, there was so much of writing, so much of research. I would really love to know what was more overwhelming for you. I mean, the research or penning down the characters, Ruana and Rakshan's agony?
I think both. Research, I have already talked about my research episode. And, being a writer, coming from the writer's point of view, I had to feel the situations before penning it down. So it was already hard. And then penning it down, also I have said a little bit about it, like I have started and stopped writing, because I wasn't sure if I'm doing it right, if I am exactly clear about how to create the situations in the fiction, and how to evolve, especially Ruana's character, who's the woman protagonist in this story. She was the main person who would actually go through the physical and the emotional upheaval. So it's a roller coaster, as I've already said. So I was very much nitpicking on, if that is sounding okay, if it was sounding realistic, and I would not upset any woman out there in the real society who has gone through these experiences and feel upset about it. So both the situations, the research as well as writing, were both difficult. It was hard, but at the end I made it. So that's what I'm pleased about. There are 12 chapters in the book, and all the chapters have different emotion. Handled different emotions, maybe repetitive emotions in a different way, because the situation was different, the expectations were different, So when you go through the chapters, like, the first chapter is just an intro, you would say, that experiencing something unexpected and going high about it. And then just falling down with unexpected situations and learning so many facts about, starting a family, about pregnancy, how it works, how actually the pregnancy happens, how the term becomes successful, why pregnancy fails. These are so much learning. And, since the couple started with a positive note, initially they were just taking it like as experiences from failures, and they, went back up again and started afresh. But somewhere there was a sting. Experienced these horrific agonies, and you have that dream when you say that I never want to give up. You have that attitudes to think about positive results. But there is a wild conundrum which follows after those happy times or positive approach, And then there's a point where we are all human beings, where we'll say, let's just face it, and this is enough, and probably this is not for me. So there are situations you just be negative. It is natural, it is okay. And that happens more because gradually, when you are facing all these horrific episodes and failures, you are gradually facing isolation and discrimination from the general society, because they start to look at you as a stigmatic person. They just think you're a stigma to the society.
Yes.
Due to that, Ruana adapts a cocoon and a self-centered life, where she was bottling up the oxymorons of hopes and failures. So she was doing both at the same time, but she was not being able to explain. As I said, even the closest family member, even your closest friend, they will say, very kind of them, they will say, oh, I totally get what you're going through, but I'm sorry, it is only the person who's going through the experience can only understand. Basically, at times, as I said, feeling clueless about what is going on. Am I crazy? Am I doing this thing right? There are things, because you live in a society, definitely the way other people behave towards you impact your emotions. Yeah, your existence, basically. So you think, my goodness, am I crazy? Am I not doing the right thing? Should I stop? Or not having a family natural for me? And why am I the chosen one? And you think a lot of things. I mean, to many couples, they probably accept this as a natural way of their life. Many people choose to be without family. I mean, I'm not trying to, as I said, educate anybody. I would request my readers that to keep the topic only centered to this couple, Ruana and Rakshan. Not take it personally or not compare with other couples, because probably there are 10 couples who are going through the same journey. But again, the journey for each couple is completely different.
Yes.
Nothing is, a set rule book. Everything is something which you have to accept, which is happening. Although medical science has, made a great improvement in this world, but there are certain things which are based on data and statistics. And, I have known doctors, not in this case probably, I have known doctors who do their treatment, but also at the end say, the rest is in the hand of Almighty.
In the hands of Almighty, yes.
So, yes. So that is where your destiny, your luck, your fate
Hmm.
comes into play. And they play a big role. You cannot just say, no, this is nothing. Only hard work and you're working for your dream to achieve your dream is the only thing. You cannot say that. So even the medical science is science, and as I said, I've heard doctors saying the rest is in the hand of Almighty. So that's life.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the gyration, the experience that probably experience of Ruana and Rakshan will give a new hope, give kind of a guidance to couples who are trying to start a family in an alternative way. But again, they have experienced endless episodes of new hope and however had to dance to the tune of destiny. So that's what I was trying to explain. You have to give it that there is something which happens at the end of the procedure because of the destiny. And something which I personally feel, since I do a lot of things in my life, and some things work, some things don't work, I think it's like an illusion. You're working towards the destiny. But what I felt after a lot of experiences, the destiny chooses you, right? So destiny tells you, you are meant for this, not for this. That is also a kind of a part of this story. You cannot really go against what is meant to happen.
Yes.
But only thing you can try is give it a shot and just keep trying. I mean, standing up from failures in itself educational is a big experience. It teaches somebody a lot. And that's why you will see when you read the story, the characters have evolved so much, not only psychologically and physiologically, but as human beings. They have learned and unlearned, learned and unlearned, and eventually understood, what is the fact of life. And they have began to handle life in so different way than they when actually started their journey.
Such a thing when it comes up to any person or any couple, it is really difficult to accept. It's really difficult to digest.
Of course.
To gulp down.
Of course.
So,
as I said, they just think, oh, why me? That's the first question.
Yes. The very first thing, why me? So, the very first way to go through it is to accept it.
Yes, true.
So, this is going to be a great help to the reader who actually is in need of such a writer.
Thank you.
Because you have explained it really beautifully.
If you just read the book, you will see that in the beginning, this happened to Ruana and Rakshan as well. Even the doctor, because, I have dealt with the unexplained fertility situation where, this is another thing that the readers should keep in their mind. There is no underlying condition, medical condition, which the doctor can pinpoint and say, okay, you are not being able to have a baby because of this. Nobody said that. That is the most frustrating thing for Ruana and Rakshan. They were just becoming clueless why, things are happening to them. And the most important thing is, when we talk about fertility journey, immediately the woman comes in the picture. But nobody, rarely talks about the man. When there is like medical explanation for a woman, there is equal medical explanation for the man. So so we all have, not only the woman needs to accept, the man needs to accept as well. So,
True, so true.
yeah, so that is the most important thing. So both have to be in the same boat to start this journey, and then accept whatever is happening, not blaming each other. Because I have read about many couples, like they have stopped in between because they have started to blame each other, like it's your fault,
Blame
it's your
each
fault.
other. Yes.
We don't even have to go out of the couple scenario. The things happen within the couple's life where things are becoming obstacles, and there are hindrances in the processes because the thought process are not similar. So you just have to act as one unit to make this journey, as it's never smooth, but I would have to use that, as easy as possible.
As possible, yes.
For both the man and the woman, psychologically, because psychological impact is the major impact in this journey.
So the psychology is the thing that actually impacts the physiology.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And this was my very next question to you, that how difficult was it for Ruana and Rakshan to accept each other with this infertility fact? This I was about to ask you this, but it's already in conversation.
Initially, it came as a blow, like it comes to everybody. But, I have tried to show them as positive characters. And they are good learners. They learn from experiences. They're ready to learn. Not everybody will be able to go through this journey if you are not open to learning things.
Learning, yes.
Things have passed on to generations about pregnancy and stuff, which are not facts. Those are myths.
Myths, yes, they are.
So things, and those have remained myths because nobody have actually experienced the situation of not being able to start a family naturally. Coming out of those myths and accepting the facts is a first step.
First step, yes.
That is the vital part. That's what Ruana and Rakshan had to do. And then eventually, taking a decision was very confusing for both of them, because they wanted to start a family. But again, they knew when the doctor explained to them the entire process, they understood how challenging it would be, especially for Ruana, because she will go through so many painful processes and procedures, medically I'm talking about, not only the disturbing situations. Woman has to go through several process and procedures, and those are painful. Your body might not be ready to accept those changes. Psychologically, you have to be very strong. And then, of course, the huge chunk is the finance. And then, just since I have to give the story a flow, I have sorted out the finance for Rakshan and Ruana. So that is again a fiction. Yes, this is imagination and reality both running parallelly in this story. So, so we cannot be like only realistic and think about real things happening. I understand things are different for different couples, but for Ruana and Rakshan, the main concern was taking decision to jump to this alternative way of starting a family. Because Rakshan was, I've portrayed Rakshan as a very caring partner. So he was thinking that if Ruana is not ready to take this through her body, and then obviously through her mind, then possibly this was not for them. So he was open to any decision that Ruana would make. But, in the hindsight, both wanted a baby of their own. That longing was so severe, I would say, that they could not give up. they fell, they had failures, they had horrible episodes in their lives, but again, they were standing up with positivity and new hope. Every time they were getting, new suggestions from the doctors, new suggestions from who was involved in the journey. They were trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel because they are positive people. They went through darkness, depressions, and everything, but again, they were trying to see the light at the end. And since, there's a very nice way to say this, like, things happen and dreams come true and miracles happen to people who demand it.
Who demand it, yes.
So that is very on-demand thing, what, I felt while writing this story.
I feel when I listen to you.
Thank you.
This is the first time I'm taking up such a conversation, and believe me, I have so many emotions inside of me right now. I don't know how to word them. Yes.
Yes, and that's what I faced when I wrote the book.
When you must written, yes,
I didn't know how to write it because I was trying to feel it on behalf of the couple, but again, I don't know how to write it. But I have to because I have taken up the project, and as I said earlier, I'm glad I could write it.
I just don't know why, but I am starting to think on your part कि कितना draining भी रहा होगा ये.
Yes, very much.
That's a harsh word.
No,
I must say, but again,
it is exhausting. Yes.
उस couple के लिए सोचना, उस couple की तरह सोचना. You have to do both the things. You have to think about them, you have to think for them, and you have to think according to them. It's some real roller coaster.
It is.
I never use this word roller coaster. Believe me, this is the first time I'm getting a good judgment to it.
Yes, it is a roller coaster. There's nothing else that you can explain this journey with any other expression. It is. It is the roller coaster.
Okay. So now when we are talking about this medical thing as well, we are in an age where we have alternatives making us at least deal with infertility. And why I say so, because back in our Nani Dadi's time, infertility meant complete full stop. A big bold full stop, no cure, no hope. There was nothing. Kisi ko pata chala that they are not able to be parents naturally. That means shattered life, shattered family and everything. And now when we have enough means, infertility is still as harsh a curse as it was years back. And you explain it. You say it by yourself. You are continuously bringing that in your conversation. So, thoda sa aisa lag sakta hai that I'm talking about a very big entity, but how would you want the society to at least accept that it's okay and it can be taken care of?
Yeah, sure. Good question. But as I am repeatedly saying, there is a message to this story that I have told. But again, I cannot educate the society. So if the society wants to change after reading this story of Ruwana and Rakshan, it's up to them. But when you're talking about like our generations in the past that they think it's a full stop, I would say it's no different now for many of us in the society as well, because they don't even think differently because they are living with probably older generations or living in rural areas or living with a taboo.
Living with the taboo and also living with the myths.
Yeah, living with the myths.
Like you said earlier.
Yes, definitely living with the myths. And probably not many people is courageous to take the leap to get into the alternatives. So this problem is still there. The only thing that I have tried to express through this story is, if you're ready to take the leap of faith and you want to fulfill your dream, there are new hopes, right? Medical science has, progressed so much, and they are there to help. But again, I'm telling you, just don't be trapped with advertisements, because that is not real life. Okay?
Yeah.
The things happen in reality which are not told even by the medical industry until and unless you are in the process. Okay?
Yes.
So this taboo is there, and especially if there is a male infertility, oh my God.
It's a different picture in itself.
Cannot even talk about it. That since I am living out of India for many years now, I have seen a difference of just talking openly about it. Okay, I'm not talking about there is no difference of how the society looks at you. It's no exception. Okay, it's only that people are becoming a little more vocal in this part of the world than the eastern part or the South Asian countries, and they try to speak up. In the South Asian countries, until and unless you're somebody impactful in the society, nobody will listen to you, right? If you want to bring up a topic like this and talk openly, you will be trolled, you will be told negative things about this topic and stuff, but at least you have a platform to tell people about this, that okay, this is not a taboo, come out of the myths, try to take up alternatives. And since we are human bodies, we all can have issues regardless if you're a man or a woman. Okay? But I can again say the incidents that happened, it happened in Ruana and Rakshan's life, they happen in reality. But yes, but because I have done research in the medical science about this process, I didn't want to sound stupid in my story.
No,
yes,
obviously.
The things that have happened in the couple's life, those are real things. But how to handle the chronicles was a story, right? That is a fiction. How the story is progressing, how the characters are evolving, that is definitely the writing skill. That is not coming from the real world. That is coming completely from my imagination. My researches have fueled my thoughts, and then I put this into pen and paper. So as you say, you're talking about the older generations, I still see, people in this generation who cannot even imagine these kind of situations can happen, in a couple's life. There are still people in the backward society, mostly I would say, they are, oppressing the woman in the family because they're cursing her, they're telling that she's the reason why the family is not going forward and stuff. But that is not true. But I am not here to educate the society. Every time I write something, I want to stir up the thought process in the society. Again, not hurting somebody's feelings. Again, giving it, a second thought.
When it comes to this women and man thing, the man is diagnosed way later in the process.
That probably happens, in many cases. But since I'm writing from the point of view in the medical industry where I live, the tests and everything start at the same point.
Same point.
Yes.
See, yahi na, this, because they are open and they are vocal about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same here, as you say, in the South Asian
They
countries.
will start looking into the issues in the women. And
In the
the
women,
most
yes.
frustrating thing, when they don't find anything in the woman, oh my God, what's happening then? Probably there is an evil effect in our family or all those nonsense things.
The men class, again, it doesn't come in picture. Evil eye, evil effect, everything, but not the man. ये तो कोई blessing ही होगी for the women if her man he steps up and gets himself diagnosed.
Yes. In the majority of the society, I would say yes. But since in these Western countries, you cannot avoid the medical industry start the testing processes at the same time for the man and the woman.
Yes.
But again, there are many men who have those, I would say, conservative thoughts that I'm a man. I'm not in trouble, so I'm not going to hold the baby. But again, given that I have talked about a heterogeneous couple over here, so things are happening between the same-sex couple to have a baby. How is that happening then? Everybody should think that, since, two women can have a baby, two men can have a baby, or a single parent can have a baby. So there is something definitely going on in the medical industry, in the medical science world, which is creating miracles or progress, So if people want to think in that way, that the society will be the better place to live in, but it doesn't happen in general.
This is a message in itself.
Yeah, that's like I said, I don't want to educate, but this was my message. This was my my storytelling, why I'm writing the story, to just stir the thought processes of the people.
You repeat this, that you're not here to educate the society, but again, the message that you're giving out needs to be considered. And even, if the society takes it as a preach, as something that, we are being educated or whatever, but this actually needs to come up.
Yeah, I will be glad if it happens, As I said, it'll be a better place to live in. Because if you allow me, I can also say a couple of words which a very renowned person wrote the foreword for my book.
Oh, yes, please.
Her name is Supriya Roy, and she is a writer and retired teacher from Modern High School in Kolkata. And she has, in a few words, has told so many things about my writing. I feel so grateful and blessed that she says that Shree is a very powerful and eminent writer. Her writing and presentation really impresses me. She has always chosen those topics as the main subject in her writing on which people are still in doubt and conflict. So this sentence, has told me a lot about what my writing is having an impact on the readers.
That came from a very respected person. Please, take my words as well. This is differently amazing.
Thank you so much.
And since you have given your best shot at it,
I'm trying.
I am sure, yes, you are going to have the best from the readers as well.
Thank you so much. I would again say it has gyrated my flow of writing. It has given me, to say it positively, given me an opportunity to, again, for myself, learn and unlearn facts and myths, so that I can put it in this story where the experiences that the couples in this journey go through, that I have penned down most closely towards the reality. But the way characters have developed, the story has developed, is a fiction. Okay? So running those two parallelly was definitely tough, and especially handling this topic. But eventually, when I, again, it's again setting goals and, achieving the goal, achieving your dreams, because end chapter is, it itself says manifestation. So it's kind of a law of attraction. If you manifest something, you would probably eventually see that happening in your life. So that's why I want to manifest positivity in my life, so that eventually I can achieve that goal. And I have somehow been able to put that nature into my feature of my personality in Ruana and Rakshan, just to be positive, just hang in there. Things will happen. It will take its own twists and turns. You cannot beat destiny. You cannot beat your fate. But again, you need to work in your own way, so that the fate and the destiny finds you in a better position.
Wow.
Does it make sense?
It does. It so does. Why is it making sense? Let me tell you. You say that you have tried to put what you are in Ruana and Rakshan. Oh, that is amazing. I mean, they are they are a fictional couple.
Yes.
Again, it's
because
art.
If you're a person with certain characteristics or certain personality, it will somewhere or the other reflect in your writing.
Reflects. It does. It does.
So like bringing out some social message, you're stirring the thought process, imbibing positivity, manifestation. These are some things which happens in my life too. I mean, I think it happens in everyone's life who wants to achieve something or the other.
Yes.
So those things will reflect in your writing. If you cannot relate to some incidents, then you cannot write it realistically. So that's the reason I had to do so much research. I had to prep myself so much to be ready for this writing journey of Ruana and
Rakshan. Yes, see, it is said that either it is the experience that you write, or when it is not the experience, you have to experience it in your head. You have to put it in your head artificially.
That is the most difficult part.
It is the most difficult part. आपने उसे experience नहीं किया, but you have to write it. It's a task. It's difficult, and
it is.
Yes, you have achieved it. 1,000 bows to the writer.
Thank you. They went to the doctor and to take suggestions, and then this is what I have written here. It had been nearly 2 years since Ruana and Rakshan were trying for a baby, quote unquote, the old-fashioned way. Testing hormones and sperms and fallopian tubes and her hormones again. They were just going through, in cycles. And those years also included reading like how to conceive books, challenging lifestyles, eating and drinking healthy, tracking cycles in multiple ways, keeping those legs up after intercourse to increase the chance of fertilization, and trying to believe, this is where I'm saying that I read the book, The Secret, which is a law of attraction. And it was really fascinating, like how we think is also matters. So the increasing the chance of fertilization, trying to believe the secret, quote unquote, law of attraction, etc., etc. So, but still there was no joy. Their minds were constantly boggled with some old questions. And these questions are like, were they doing it right? Were we not doing it enough? Should I be drinking more green tea? Should I be inhaling dairy products? Should my husband avoid sitting in the sauna? So too much of questions and information drove them crazy. And many of the couples whom they knew, who were of similar age group as them, had babies by then already. Hence, Ruana and Rakshan decided to consult their doctor and get some further advice. And the doctor happily referred them to the fertility expert. So this part will tell you, what goes on when you first come to know that you might have to take help, medical help, you know. So all these kind of questions, it's sometimes very funny to read, and yes, but I've tried to put some fun facts in the book, because I don't want it to be all dark.
Obviously, yes.
These questions are really mind-boggling, but again, when people from outside the couple scenario will listen, they will have funny feeling about it, right?
Yeah.
The questions that are being asked, the questions that they are boggling their minds with, like, are we doing it right? Are we doing it enough? Are we doing it wrong? All these things. So these are like, people will say, oh, so there are a lot of questions which the couples have boggling their mind, but people from outside might find these questions funny, because to them these are not even questions. Things just happen so naturally. So that's why I have tried to incorporate some natural thought processes which were going through in the couple's mind, and to the reader it'll be some refreshing points where they might find it funny or might relate. It is up to them, but these are very natural.
Everything, these are just the writing skills.
Oh, thank you.
When we say this about the writing skills, let me tell you, we were talking about such a delicate topic, and believe me, not even for a moment, you let the air go down. Pura conversation.
I'm so honored.
Yes, the conversation was easy for me to accept. I was listening to you, and I was not at all into, feeling dark and anything. No. This was so beautiful.
That's so encouraging. Thank you.
It was really, really nice talking to you, and hitting such a topic, such a theme is, again, very new to me also. And wow.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, as I've said, I have also tried to incorporate, like, not to sting the word infertility. It's like maybe unexplained fertility issues.
That's the right term.
In this particular story, there might be issues, several other issues medically, which I have not written about. So, and I'm honored that you said the interview was easy. It was not at all dark, probably because of the impact of all the, the research and the time I have put in carefully to write this book. I would say handled with care.
Yes.
That has reflected my talk as well with you. But I'm so thankful that you have had me on your show, and wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you very much, and I am pleased to have you. I never thought my invite would be accepted by such a theme. So thank you very much, and
you're welcome.
I am sending the best your way for many more awards to come in.
Thank you.
Yeah, and all the very best.
Thank you. If you would like, I think you have already just browse through my website for more books and more, about my writing journey and the recognitions.
Everything is right there on the website. I even appreciated you. Like, it's a beautiful thing to maintain a website.
I think now writing has become, I hate to word this understatement, passion, but it has become something, an activity that I enjoy. So this overused word passion, sometimes it comes into our conversation, but I don't like to use it often, because words like, as you said, roller coaster, passion, these words, they have their own niche, right? But we overuse them. Okay, but this journey was definitely a roller coaster for me as well, writing it, penning it down. People will say it comes from passion, but I think my main passion is dance.
Oh.
That is different, but
Huh.
writing is definitely has taken that place again, and
Huh.
that's why I'm trying to maintain, update everything.
Hmm.
It is like, like a journal for me. It keeps me on track.
On
Uh,
track, yes.
yeah, whenever I don't feel writing,
Huh.
that journal, gives me that boost that, okay,
Huh.
I can probably do something in writing
Huh.
and, pick it up.
This is a shout out to journal thing.
Yes.
See, passion, like
Mhm.
through the conversation, even I never asked you whether writing is a passion or not. Because
Mhm.
reason being the same, because it is such an
Overused
overused, yes.
and
Like
understatement.
why exactly? Like why passion? Okay, fine. If it is passion, that's okay. But what has come out of that passion, that needs to be talked about.
Yes, what
Book
makes you happy, which you enjoy,
exactly. And
those are the right words.
those are the right words. And when you say writing, you're doing it every now and then. You're doing it
Mhm.
continuously. So
Mm.
that is now beyond passion. It's not passion anymore. अब वो एक
Mhm.
inclusive part है. You have
Mm.
included it so well in
Very,
your
very well said. Yes,
uh,
very well said.
you have included in your lifestyle actually. So
Exactly. That is part of the life.
yes,
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. Again, wishing you all the best.
thank you very much. The best to you as well. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.